Welcome to the Will Studios. I'm Will. I'm drawing the comic book, and since starting this comic book and deciding that I was going to crowdfund it, I've been, and sorry I'm for the way I'm talking, I'm like listening to these guys. I'm just going to go ahead and pause them. Because I can come back to that. Let's turn the light on. Welcome to the Will Studios. I'm drawing this page. And it's a page that here, so we got page 1, and this is basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to, because I have a website now, I haven't opened it up yet, but I'm going to post the pages that I have finished. I'm going to start actively promoting the book. But it's basically how many pages can I finish before Baltimore Comic-Con, okay? Because then right before Baltimore Comic-Con, I'm going to launch the website. I'm going to have a little QR code. I'm going to wear a t-shirt. It's going to say, ask me about my comic book. And hopefully people ask me about my comic book. Because I'll just chat people up about whatever. And then hopefully I'll get more than 30 subscribers on YouTube. And things are just going to, look up for me. And they're not looking great for the world. So I have page 1. So this is, I'm basically gonna be posting on the website in progress pages, and you can sign up for an email. I'll have an email list. It'll be great. This page I'll leave the way it is. This one needs a little more work and dialogue. This one, the line art is done. It needs the shading layer, and then it needs a little more work. This one is the one I'm working on right now. So that means now 1, 2, 3, 4. We're on page 5 right now. And this one, I'm pretty much just doing final line work right now. Then I'll be doing shadows. This page, the line work is more or less done. I don't think I'm going to have to redo any of this. Maybe a little bit. Just here and there. This one, I need to do that first panel. And I need to do a background. I need to do the ground flying by underneath of him. But I don't think I need to do much more to the line work here, honestly. Just because I don't have that much time. I have a week. I'm going to have... Hopefully tomorrow I don't even work at all at night, but we'll see. But then I'll definitely have 2 days off to get this moving. Line work's done here. Needs a shading layer. Needs a little more. This one, more or less same story. Line work is 95% done here. This one, I gotta do that top page. This page has to be redone. But it's almost there. Yeah, we're 70% here on this page. This page, we're more 85% there. Because a lot of the line work is done on the more complicated panels. This one. This one, we're almost there. This one, we're almost there. It needs the final line work. And then this one needs final line work, but is more or less done. And then this one needs some pizzazz. We need to add some pizzazz to this panel. And we need to add the explosion on the helmet. And then this page can wait. I've decided that if I can finish on this page and add some pizzazz, okay, then people are going to get a good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 pages of power, okay? This is going to be kick-ass. And everyone is going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay, guys. Okay? Oh, man. But anyhow, I've been getting to know these crowdfunders, and some of these guys are like YouTuber turned crowdfunders, right? And Vito, that's how I first heard of Vito, because Vito was the co-host of The Biggest Problem in the Universe with Dick Masterson, and they were very critical of a gentleman named Eric July. And this video is probably only ever going to be seen by a few coworkers. But I'm going to give a brief overview of the situation there, where basically Dick Masterson was very critical of Eric July. And the way Eric reacted to it has led to like a little cottage industry forming of people who don't like the guy and think he's hilarious. Hilariously stupid. And like Ethan Van Sciver has a podcast every night about it. And it's a pretty fun podcast. And I think even after Eric July is gone, because I read his comic books, they're not good. It's hard to see him sticking around. It really is. But he was a very divisive figure, Eric July. And Vito decided he was going to crowdfund a comic book, and he made over $100,000. Or the book itself made $100,000. There was always going to be shipping costs. He had to pay an artist because he's not an artist himself. He was paying an artist. He is a writer. And the book is like a year late, which leads me to believe that he didn't have a clear vision for the story he wanted to tell and exactly how he wanted to tell it, because if he had that, I feel like he'd be done by now. Like, my excuse is that I'm also drawing it, and I have a full-time job, and I'm actually moving pretty fast. When you think about it, when you think about the fact that last year, all I had were my storyboards that I'd written out and a whole bunch of concept art and just, ideas. But, a lot of that stuff went out the window. I didn't finalize a lot of the costumes and outfits even until very recently. And like, even right now, I just redesigned her hair thing, made it like a mini Stargate on her head or something. And I'm gonna have to go back and make that all uniform. Gotta go back and make sure I put the bunny ears on her in every panel. But anyhow, so Vito was writing a super killer comic book, which is basically interdimensional cleanup crew. Like, okay, so if Superman went bad, Super Killer would show up out of a portal like Rick and Morty and shoot him in the head or something, or whatever. It's the Adventures of Super Killer. It's actually, it's a fun little idea. It could it could be a fun comic book. I saw a page, and it was a little wordy, but I could see how it would appeal to some people. It raised $100,000, and now this guy's being accused of gambling all the money away because he's refusing to issue refunds to these two, Riley and Mint Salad. And Riley Clippaverse, Young Clippa, I think he's hilarious, personally. I wonder how far you could take it with him. Because he starts threatening. So, Riley went to war with this dude, Matt Barr, who is just this, he seems like kind of a goofy artist. Like, he people accuse him of having a head wound. I don't know if he has a head wound or not, but he really got on the wrong side of those two, and Riley he started threatening to rape him. Riley's like, I'm going to literally rape you. And he's going through the grocery store grabbing, these are the things I'm going to use when I come to rape you. And he, putting them in the shopping cart. And Matt Barr starts freaking out and, saying, I'm going to call the cops if you show up to my house. That sort of shit. And saying he's crazy and this is off limits. This is not comedy. You can't joke about raping somebody. It's inappropriate to joke. But I thought it was fucking hilarious. If Riley ever threatened to rape me, I feel like I would have something to say about it. But I'm not going to try to call the police. You know what I mean? I would invite him, and I would be the raper, okay? If he thinks he's gonna rape me, game on, would be my response. But I'm not everybody, and lots of people get freaked out when there's threats on the table. But this is what this dude does. And it's amazing. And it's like when he gets that reaction out of people, it just sort of plays into it. And he was sticking dollar bills to the outside of Eric July's warehouse where he keeps his comic books, because Eric wouldn't read his super chats on the live streams. So that started a whole thing where Eric got a restraining order against him, and it's like there's so much going on. I feel like I could waste a ton of time on this. I don't want to waste a ton of time on talking about it. But currently, Vito is on the other end of this, and he's not issuing a refund to Riley. Riley is threatening to do an escalating series of crimes for which he would not be punished in California. So he's doing this all as a bit, obviously, but Vito's home is his sanctum sanctorum, and he simply wants it not to be even joked about. But you gotta catch the wave when it comes. Alright? When the opportunity knocks for some real... Like, I would love some drama to come my way. Someday drama will come my way. I'll say, because I'm always gonna speak from my gut, and I'm eventually gonna have interactions with human beings, and then we'll see what happens. For now, I'm just doing some line work, and I feel like this turned out pretty good. This panel, where Hayden is talking to his little AI assistant, who needs a name. What would Hayden name his AI assistant? He doesn't call on her in the first issue, so... But I gotta work that in at some point. The second issue, the script is in pieces right now. I have where what Silver's doing pretty well fleshed out up to a point, and then I have some first draft material that I'm positive I'm going to think of something slightly cooler. Or something else is going to... Well, yeah. You'll see. Issue 2 is going to be amazing. Like, that's issue 2. Issue 2 is not storyboarded out yet. And, I'm going to have a crowdfund on issue 1 before starting on that, I think. By the time I have the crowdfund for issue 1 wrapped up, I want to have issue 2 scripted and mostly storyboarded. Because it's going to be awesome. And then issue 3 is going to be even better. Issue 3, I have like what I want to happen mapped out, but I don't have the individual scenes selected yet. Issue 2, I have a bunch of scenes. It's gonna be good. But first I gotta buckle down. I got 1 week to make this happen. Because everybody needs me. Like, imagine how the world would have been different. How all of this would have been different for Vito and for Riley if I had been around. If I had been more dedicated to my craft much earlier on in life. I think about that sometimes. Waste a lot of time thinking about what ifs. Let me make sure I didn't just mute myself. Okay, good. I went with like a cross pattern on her hair here. Because why not? I can always change it. She's fully customizable. Everybody has an AI partner in the year 2056 who shares news with them, connects phone calls. They're all basically nodes of Gaia, who is the main hub, sort of mothership AI, and helps everybody communicate with one another. That's like Gaia's main purpose, is to help everyone communicate with one another, but it's a very special kind of computer, which you will find out about in issue 1. Yeah, issue 1 is where we go over that. Issue 1 is going to be packed with information and questions. It's going to be great. I'm going to really enjoy when people can actually read it. But yeah, Vito's acting, he's basically just breaking character. And everyone around him, and he's like, guys, I'm not okay. Like, you know, he's... It's gonna be really sad, I think, if Vito crashes and burns, never delivers on his comic book. People are accusing him of, like, wasting the money, so that it's like, oh, so he's not able to pay his artists? He says that he is. Maybe it's more going, you're too loud. We're good. I am not being too loud. Putting this random shape on. Her shoulders. I don't want to come in and announce that I'm like the savior of comic books. I feel like that would be, people would not appreciate that. It would stifle the spreading of the word, because eventually I think they'll realize who I am. And they should all work for me. You know what I mean? Like, I got too many ideas running through my head. I feel like once I am free from my job and I can just do this for a living and this becomes the job, then I'll be able to start trying to partner with like young animators and try to crowdfund a cartoon and be like, listen, how much would it cost for 20-minute episode? Or like an animated music video, I think would be cool. Because I've always wanted an anime opening. The streaming, no viewers. It's fine, Will. It's okay. You're gonna get one view. And it's gonna be I think Baltimore Comic Con is going to be the first convention I'm going to. But then, as I progress, like, we'll see how many I can pick up. If I can pick up even like 10 or so people to get on an email list, that would be enough incentive to be like, I should be going to conventions. I'm definitely going to be going to, like, GalaxyCon is in the city. Conventions that are convenient to go to, absolutely. Gosh, I really nailed it here, didn't I? That, like, little part, that should be part of the promotional material. It's just that. Figure somehow. Gosh, I'll just work her into the promotional material. Release, and it has her. Oh, that's slick. I think I could really make that work. How'd I come up with this fucking comic book? It's too good. I just gotta make money off this. It's just too good. This idea is just too good. Gotta make money off this. It is kind of amazing that it's like, okay, after all the attempts, because I think back and, like, the first one that I thought I was going to produce, because the first version of Release was called Hero 1. And that was all about who is now Silver. And I had started writing it, but I just couldn't make it good enough. Honestly. But I was, like, positive that it was going to get better and that I needed to keep working and that what else can I make? What else can I make? And I was in these 3 horror films back in '08, and I did a podcast with this dude Dan Guy, and we hit it off. We were like friends. When we were together, it was like we were best friends, but we were not best friends, But it was, we saw each other once a week doing the podcast. We made each other laugh. It was always a good time. But we grew apart. I was like 22, and I had stopped the podcast, and then the relationship pretty much dissolved. But we had this idea for Dan Guy and the Will, where we were this autistic Batman and Robin couple, like Step Brothers meets Adam West Batman, which is still an amazing idea. I still love our scripts and everything. But I thought I should make this into a comic book. And I talked to him about it, and he gave me the okay to go ahead and do it. But I was still in an era where I failed to realize that I needed clarity of vision, and I needed to understand all of my weaknesses. And trying to write Hero 1 definitely revealed a lot of my writing weaknesses, and then trying to draw Dan Guy and the Will revealed a lot of my drawing weaknesses. And then I embarked on this journey of gradual improvement with my artwork, with my writing, with everything. Took a break there to learn Python, but I was always writing. Like, I was writing video games at that point. And then it was a couple years ago now. It must be like 3 years ago now that I had the inspiration for how I should do Hero 1. And just completely turn it upside down. New main character. Dual, almost, we're basically 2 main characters. I'm not going to call George a main character, although he is a significant side character, major player. He is not a main character, even though most of the story is about him. Anyway, Hayden and Silver drive the plot. They're the main characters. And man, I'm going to come out swinging with this one. I gave Richard Embry some grief. Not to his face or anything. Just in a video. And randomly, that he just needs to swing harder with blood and the sword. I will show him the way. I'll show him what I mean by you gotta swing harder. Because we can't just produce... Well, I'm not going to pick on Richard. I decided that going on about it is basically picking on him. And he doesn't even notice me. So what am I doing? I will show the way for everybody. Everyone will notice me eventually. And Richard will come to understand that I am an ally. And he's not an artist, so I don't know if I would say come work for me, but if he needed advice or, If he wanted my thoughts on how to punch up his story, hey, I'm here. I have ideas. I always have ideas. I'm the idea man. I can't help it. I have ideas for the Rippaverse. You know, I have ideas. But your ideas are your most valuable asset. And they need to be nurtured and developed carefully. And I feel like I lucked into not being capable of producing a comic book early. Like, if I was able, like, if I had put in the road work in my 20s instead of my 30s, and if I was able to produce a mediocre comic book back 10 years ago when I first, like, got this idea that, like, I need to do this, I probably would have produced crap. And so I'm grateful for the grind. I'm grateful for the universe keeping me humble. Because I think a lot of people just didn't get that advantage. A lot of people who do art knew it early and went to school, and so a lot of them end up having a similar mindset towards things, and a lot of them are very capable, but they don't have the ideas and the clarity of vision to execute something great. Or they don't have the charisma to get in front of a microphone or whatever, because you got to get noticed. I'm going to try to get, that's my problem, is I got to try to get noticed. I think I'm kind of fun to listen to. It would help if I could interact with some more people. So yeah, Baltimore Comic-Con is coming up in 10 days. 10 days, we'll see how much I can get finished. But thanks for tuning in to the Will Studios. I'm going to go ahead and end it there.